and Per-Olav, any input, any kind of more deeper knowledge when I go into the different areas, please fill in your thoughts and your kind of knowledge, please. So we have finally put in place the contract with Draga. We had back and forward a lot of weeks, but it's in place this week. And we have kicked off the meeting as such, and we now up to speed and discussing all the effort that actually PCA has been working on the last couple of weeks. So we are now bringing up Draga up to speed, make sure that they really understand the need, what we're going to put in place, and also the need from Yggdrasil. The list of equipment they're going to take on board is what you see on the screen. Is the same list, Brendan, that we discussed earlier. But because we lost some weeks of production, we had to split the group one prioritized group in two to make sure that we demonstrate that we can deliver something in June. And then successfully, we're going to then delivering. But we are postponing the milestones, but because we had to do that because we lost them a couple of weeks. So you see, the list is identical. We grouped it in 1A and 1B, then number 2, 3, and 4 as previously. So there is only group 1 we have split in 2. If you have any input to any of the selection of equipment, please give me feedback after the meeting. There's always a way to ask and discuss if we should prioritize something else. But it's a very tight schedule, especially for delivering 1A. But we would really like to have something on board before end of June. On the right corner, you see the milestones. So milestone 1 alpha is group 1 alpha, is being modeling of all the equipment you see for 1 alpha within 30th of June. And if you really look closer, Torstein, I see you leaning forward to look at the small text now, you will find your emergency generator there as 1 alpha. I have been in very good dialogue with the project team delivering the systems in onshore operating center. So Gert Gill and the guys has provided me with all the data sheets that belong into the emergency generator, and that's being transferred now to Draga to be able to model it up. So you understand that.
How many are there?
That's many. I haven't counted them yet.
It's a bunch. It's a big set. Yeah.
It was the file was too. The files was too big to send on email, so we had to have a SharePoint to share it.
Okay.
Yeah. I can share with you as well how many this tool afterwards.
That's
okay.
Put it in the chat.
yeah. Especially when it's not able to send it on email. Yeah.
I was thinking how many it was.
Yeah, okay, many. I will count it and send it to you afterwards. I haven't counted yet.
No problem.
So this is the list, and this is the status where we are, and this is the progress, what we like to deliver according to the milestones. Any comments or feedback on this? Good. Okay. So.
Sorry, one question maybe. It says milestone 5 at the list on the right bottom, but what is that on your table in the left? Is there a connection between?
No, if you read the text for milestone 5, it's all types delivered and with agreed documentation. So it's all documentation and everything. It's a final roundup. And behind the documentation is also the procedure, how they developed this and how they have changed to be in compliance with the IMF manual. But it's also what we had to solve, because we are solving a lot of things as we go. And that's a close collaboration between PSA, Webstep, and Draga, and the IMF manual authors. So we really understand the concept, because not everything is solved yet. We are solving things as we go as well. But we are really good interaction now. We have good collaboration, so we are very confident we're going to solve all the issues. So you can trust that your kind of digital attributes we're going to provide you. And just to repeat a little bit, so what are we actually doing now? And based on the collaboration between PSA and Drage is one thing of producing or the production of the equipment according to IMF. But it's likewise important that Per Olav, that's in the meeting here now, make sure that we are in a position where we actually can take on board the IMF types and the attributes into our systems in Aker Solution and Aker BP in the end. So the Drage job is actually taking all the NORSOK data sheets and also the JIP 33 data sheets, and also try also to find references or links to SHIFOS and such. So putting all this together according to IMF and putting them into IMF types in the different aspects as we discussed earlier. And then provide it or send it or transfer it to PCA or Fredrik in this meeting. So they will receive it into their libraries. They will do a quality assurance, a quality check on the what you receive, and then make it available for Aker Solution or Able or other disk participants for using it. And hence, Per Olav need to do some clever stuff to verify that he actually is able to transfer or take aboard IMF types from the library into CDF. And it's from the CDF where you guys gonna use either Cosmos or other systems to kind of take advantage of the digital attributes.
Just a question. Where in this picture is Aker BP?
Point number 2, validate the content of the expression model and give feedback.
Okay.
where in this picture is Aker BP?
It could be likewise Aker Solution or Aker BP on top of here.
But the thing is that you need to be able to utilize this. You need to have digital requirements as part of your requirements, right? So you kind of give the contractor. I don't see the end to end here. That's what I was thinking. You know, where do you have your owner operator on this picture?
I didn't put in the owner operator as such because first of all we may need to succeed that actually Aker Solution can bring it on board and then come up with suggestions of what they're going to purchase and put in place purchase package. When they purchase something, you need to transfer to Aker BP.
The requirement side is not in this picture.
And exactly, that's what I don't see. Yeah, and to be able to explain this to Aker BP, we need to kind of build a drawing, if you put it that way, that has an end-to-end process.
Yes.
What we're thinking is that your process data sheets are the IMF type kind of content at least, and that would be coming from a system like Cosmos. So that would be what you would be matching these product types against.
I got that, but we have a need to see full flow.
Get your point.
We support that.
I take that action too, and then I will expand on the figures. This figure was mainly now made to make sure that we onboard Aker Solution so they can start utilizing what we developed. And then let's now build on this. What is the next step, or where is the kind of Aker BP come into play and back and forward and come into operation as well?
Yes, because we are basically we need to give the requirement and we need to receive the result.
Yeah, I agree.
Uwe, I've seen a slide that you presented before that included.
I'm just curious on that because we need Brendan to explain this to our.
You're thinking about this one.
It may have been.
Okay. Let's
move on.
Expand this so we really make sure that the whole life cycle.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
The main purpose today was actually to make sure that we understand that we are now in a position where we would like to start taking this on board in the engineering company, and as such, and then we need to expand this figure so we understand the rest of the life cycle.
Yeah. Okay.
And since I see Yngve in the meeting as well, one of the X's there, or the X, Y, or whatever, will be
All
data
A's
collected from
the
EQ Hub.
data, but we
Yeah, so hold that thought and a question. I will come a little bit back. And Yngve, you please comment on that when I come to this figure I just briefly showed. But what is important here now, what we also have been discussing back and forward, and we now think we have a solution that we're going to present for Aker Solution on Monday, is about actually say, okay, when we take the equipment list and putting them into IMF types in the different aspects and having all the properties and attributes being identified for the different equipment, we will also we will also make sure that based on the domain experts, the engineers, the subject matter experts, they will also kind of also suggest a kind of a recommended list of attributes that you should kind of populate or instantiate when it comes to the process. So that's where we have been working this week to make sure that we have that in place. So there will be very clear for the Aker Solution engineer, understand this, also Aker BP engineers, understanding what is the recommended set of attributes that you should instantiate based on taking the advantage of these IMF types. So that is coming into place, and there we are working very closely with Draga and PCA to make sure that we have a way to identify those attributes. So it's about understanding what the minimum requirements we think should be in place. But it's a suggestion, a recommendation. It's nothing about kind of a mandatory or minimum as such. And as we have discussed earlier, this process of doing the work Draga are doing, we would like to have that and kind of an endorsement from the technical authorities that we have recommended a set of attributes that actually they endorse. So that's a process that we have suggested earlier. But we are not waiting for the TAs. We are informing and getting their feedback and that we populating and doing QA on the IMF types as we go along and producing those IMF types. Okay. What you talked a little about, Jan, and mentioned, and I guess that's why you also invited Yngve. Do everyone know who and what Yngve represent? Maybe you should give 2 words or 3 words. Yeah,
I can do that. Yngve Nilsen from I work for Offshore Norge, and I'm a service manager for several services, and EQ Hub is one of the services that we provide. So yeah, I guess that's why I'm here.
Yeah. So coming into the full process, when we are able to utilize IMF types and digital attributes, that should be then the starting point for putting together a purchase package for instance, buying a temperature transmitter, whatever equipment we like to buy. So what we are working on and we need to formulate is what is the format we will require from vendors to deliver their product specification. And hence we are in dialogue with Yngve and EQ Hub and seeing how can we now together understand the IMF ontologies and the IMF kind of modeling principles and looking into the product aspects. Because in our terminology, the product aspect is actually the product data specification from a vendor specifying what they actually have on the EQ Hub today, I believe. And in the project disk, we now try to looking at what are we going to put into the request for vendors to kind of propose any equipment. We need to put in place those requirements, and that comes back to what you also talk about too, I guess. So what we think is the future is actually what
You
EQ
take the
have.
questions as we go along, Ove.
Yes, please.
I see the purchase package PC you have up there.
Yeah.
All arrows go into it.
Nothing coming out
but
of
there
it.
is a result. There is a call for a service, and there is a result from a service. But what do you do with the result? Do you print it on paper?
No.
No.
I think that's a kind of an old comment. If remember, you have commented that before, Tor.
No, I haven't. Actually, I haven't commented on that. I'm just asking.
I think you commented because it should be now when you made the decision and selected the equipment you actually are going to buy, you need to feed that back again.
Yeah, I'm just asking because all arrows go in there.
No,
That's what I thought about printing.
I can
get a PDF. No,
yeah.
But where should it go? The arrow, should it go down in the?
It goes back to the kind of operator or EPC platform.
Yeah, there needs to be some kind of connection here.
Yeah. I will make that also happen. Yes.
Okay.
But what we will like now utilize is actually that we're gonna make a requirement for vendors to deliver their product specification according to IMF.
Ove, Brandon has also raised his hand.
Yes.
Maybe you might be just coming to this, but it's a question for Yngve. Are you going to align the EcoHub RDL with the IMF attribute IDs?
Yes, well, we will align the requirements in EcoHub based on what the industry tells us to use. So we need to agree on this and so on. So definitely, this is something we will implement. But I guess it's from our point of view, it's a lot of discussions on which one and what and and so on. So I guess we have tried. So the version we have now with EcoHub, I think we have aligned as much as we can with the attributes and so on. But we need to, we need to be able to implement that, of course, if the industry wants it. But then for us, it's also a little bit difficult sometimes to understand who decides what to be put into EcoHub. So in Offshore Norge, they are working now on a governance board to sit down and actually decide that, okay, in EcoHub, it should be this, according to NORSOK or according to whatever the industry wants, so that we can be aligned with that. And then I guess what we see is that there is a lot of different ideas on these things in different companies and projects and so on. And yeah, I guess we need, this is an industry solution, so we need to make sure that this is aligned with with what can be used by everyone, if you see what I mean.
Yeah,
So,
I think there's, in a way, there's an easy way to do it. Is you don't have to necessarily change your approach. It's just map the attributes.
Yeah.
And it will result, I guess, in some new attributes being created, and that's obviously a decision process. But if we can start to build on the concept of actually having a unique ID that everybody uses, then that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
And,
so
you're already doing it. It'd just be to update the ODS number.
Yeah, so here just to show you what we have done now, and I think we've done a good job here so far. And of course, this is ongoing. But what we have done here is to take all the set 018 classes and set 002 classes, and we have used all documents, product typical and product individual documents requirements, and put in what's mandatory and what's conditional. And then towards the class, we have done mappings, as you can see here. So we try to be aligned with as much as possible, and obviously what you're doing here, we need to follow that up, of course. And then when we have the properties, we also have a suggested properties, and this is taken from NORSOK and so on. And here you will also have mappings like mapping to POSC-C server. and so on for this specific attribute. So we are trying to build up a library here, but what we need to set up for the whole industry is that, okay, the supplier who submits into eCube, he knows that it's submitting it, and the whole industry can use the data because it's according to whatever standards and it's mapped and so on, and then we're good to go. So that's our ambition here, and I guess it's some work left, but I think we have a good overview. This is eCube norm. We have an API for this. So here you can extract the data. You can also extract data from eCube if you want to see what we have, what kind of attributes we have, and so on and so on. If you want to compare it and see if there's an input there, or if you want to give us feedback whether what we have is maybe should be updated and so on. And that's where we want to go to align ourselves with these kind of initiative as well. So yeah,
Great.
Just a quick input.
Yeah, that was really great thing there. Jan?
Yes, and I think you said it in one of your sentences, Yngve, that it is available in the API. We need a small training session to understand where we can fetch the GeForce references, for instance, or the PostGIS references. We see the API, but we couldn't find it.
Okay. Yeah, no, let's help you guys with that. And if it's difficult, I guess we can download all the mappings. We have it in a database. This is something we can provide to all of you. Yeah. So what our ambition now is to make sure that we are aligned with what the industry wants. And obviously there are some different ideas of which standard is better than the other one and so on, but as long as we map it, so we know that this one is that one, and the data sitting behind can be translated to whatever standard, as I think we are moving towards now, I think we could do that. But yeah. So that's our ambition. So we are not going to standardize anything. We just publish what the industry wants, and then when the supplier delivers something, he will deliver according to what's in eCube. And I guess when we get up this governance board and we make these decisions and so on, there will also be a change process in that, where we will, align ourselves with initiative like this and maybe other initiatives as well, to make sure that we pick up the best that the industry can use. So yeah.
And we are not talking about the one standard being better than the other. They are serving different purposes, and I think that is what we are struggling with, all of us. So.
Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah. So, but I think we've started a good process here. So if we can collaborate on this and get all these initiatives aligned, then I think we really have a good position here. And then of course there is other information elements which is not in eCube on the engineering side and the individual side, of course. But we need to communicate so we distinguish what is what here. Yeah. So that's also something that we are, trying to educate the industry about, I guess. So yeah.
Good.
I think that's a good remark.
And you're going to go. So Helge, you're going to wrap it up.
Yeah, I think we need to leave because we have another meeting coming up in 2 minutes. Yeah. I think it was good points you had, Yngve. I think it is all about collaboration and alignment, and we have already opened the lines, so I think we're going to continue that as we go along.
Yeah. And I can see that the industry is more. I've been working with this eCube for many years now, and we are quite aligned now. We're getting there, I think, according to this type of data set. But of course, the debate will go and new initiatives and so on. But as you say, as long as we talk together and make sure that it gives the value it should give, then I think we are on a good way. So yeah, so I'm happy to set up a workshop or whatever with you guys, and we can dive a little bit into this, and then you guys from your initiative can see what's going on here, and then we can learn a little bit more so we can align this going forward. It will be good.
That's a good suggestion. We will follow up on that.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay.
There was a comment there from Tore, I think, before we left.
It was for you, Helge. So
Yeah.
Helge Ferdinand, it's just I think we need to try to work this a little bit as well.
Absolutely. We have a bit of a homework to do. Like
because
everybody
now
else.
it's maturing quite fast here, and once we
It
have
is.
a proven process and we have some success in this space, obviously we would like to see what can we take on board here. How how can we do this now?
And we are discussing this a lot, Tor, and we are discussing it in the other context, and we are trying to engage Aker BP. So this is very welcome from my point of view.
We have to do it, or it will be just sitting in Aker Solutions for the project.
I talked to Steinar Molland earlier
value.
today about this very specific point. So yeah.
Okay, good.
Super.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank
thanks
you.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you all. Bye bye.